there is one other chance for Maria ex posto. The Home Minister with Malaysia's new government wants to get rid of the death penalty. If her appeal fails and the death penalty is repealed, all she'll face is a very long time in prison.
Our correspondent Adam Harvey there. Now, infrastructure was a key component of this year's federal budget, but last night the construction industry came together to celebrate the best of recent projects completed from right around the country.
In the mix for the top honour was a new stadium, a hospital, prison, quarantine facility and highway upgrades. And joining us now is David Cruikshank's board.
About that from an engineering perspective.
Well, yeah, you're right that the awards celebrate engineering, but most people's perception of engineering is a fairly narrow definition. What made that project win was really what it's actually created for the community, which is an outstanding asset. If you've been to any of the major stadiums overseas, you will have experienced what it's so much more than just going to watch the game. Yeah. You actually have a wonderful experience. And now in Perth, we have a stadium which is truly world-class. It's got 60,000 lights.
Yeah.
You can go into the stadium and you get surrounded by the lights of your team.
Yep.
And the sound of your team. It's just a marvellous experience.
I'm dying to see a game of cricket or a game of football there at some stage.
It's a good reason now to go. You're like, well, I have to go check out this award-winning stadium.
But the other, sorry, if I could just say, the other thing that's really special about the stadium is outside the stadium is a park which celebrates 60,000 years of Aboriginal custodianship of the land. So you've got the modern and the historical juxtaposed together, which is really fantastic.
So what were the parameters by which you were judging all the entrants on? What were you looking for?
Yeah, OK, so it's an engineering construction award, so obviously that's paramount. But it's more than just the quality of the engineering. It's what it does for the environment, what it does for sustainability, what it does for the community, and most importantly also innovation. Innovation is often the sort of the little bit that makes a difference. The innovation on this particular stadium was quite fascinating because the canopy of the stadium you have no obstructions in front of you.
Yep. So
it's a cantilevered canopy. But it was inspired by a motorcycle.
Oh, really?
The design of a motorcycle.
Oh, wow.
Won the World Championship in 2012. Just incredible, isn't it?
Who knew?
Yeah.
Now, also on the winning list, hospital. Now, lots of Australians don't like hospitals for clearly obvious reasons, but we're talking about a Sydney hospital that is very special in so many ways. Tell us about that one.
Well, firstly, if I needed to go to hospital, I'd love to go to this hospital, OK? I hope I don't need to, but I'd love to. So one of the unique things about the hospital is actually a private and a public hospital on the same site, in the same building, but operated by a private operator. And it's many ways it's got the best that you can have in a modern-day hospital. It's got 50-room emergency department. It's got, I think, 14 operating theatres, a helipad if you need to get there in an emergency. It's an outstanding facility.
Having seen the entrance and, of course, the awards being last night, what's the future of engineering? What's the future for this industry moving forward? Well,
that's a very good question. I mean, one of the big challenges they have is the expenditure on infrastructure in particular, which is, I think you noted at the beginning with the federal expenditure and so on, that what the real problem is how do we actually resource the industry and also face into all sorts of interesting things like artificial intelligence, robots. How do you learn to work with robots when you're building stadiums? It's going to be a really fascinating career for young children to go into.
And sustainability being a key part of it as well.
Absolutely.
Well, congratulations again on the awards last night. David Cruikshank's board, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Now, the first exhibition in Australia featuring works by only female Chinese artists opens in Sydney today.
And it's been put together by former Australian ambassador to Beijing, Lara Himes reports.